Hey Simone, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Today, I just wanted to share a little bit about your testimonial and your success. So far, you have lost 21 pounds in 12 weeks, and it was like you are 5% body fat down. So 5% down, which is like amazing. That just shows us that not only you being losing fat, but also building muscle. 21 pounds in 12 weeks, that's amazing. But before we even get started, I want to start asking because a lot of asking about what you do for a living because a lot of people use being busy as an excuse. So why don't you share a little bit about Simone? What do you do for a living?
So I am a business owner. I am part owner in a restaurant with my family members, and then on the side I dabble in a little bit of real estate. So like you said, a lot of people use the excuse of being busy. However, sometimes that's also code word for we don't take time to take care of ourselves. And I know for me that was the case big time because when you're your own boss or when you have a high stress job, then there's always something to do. There's always a fire put out. There's always somebody that needs something from you, some paperwork or deadline that you need to get done. So it's easy to just push off your nutrition and push off your self-care for reasons.
Thank you for sharing that. That's so true. And I want a little bit about you. Where were you before you started the coaching program?
So before I started the coaching program, if we want to back it up a couple of years ago, I was struggling really bad with anxiety and depression. A lot of that was exacerbated once the pandemic hit. I had an injury and I ended up needing surgery for that. So when you kind of just pile on all those things, it takes a toll on your health. And for me, trying to figure out like better coping mechanisms and tools to help support my mental health. That was kind of the first part of that puzzle. Once I reached out to you, I had a couple of things figured out, but the last missing piece was my nutrition and my fitness. I was trying to focus on nutrition myself, but if you don't have any like really experience or any knowledge about those things, it's kind of hard to make sure that you're getting the proper nutrition. And trying to eat enough and not eat too much, but trying to make sure you're have enough energy for the day and you're getting enough vitamins and nutrients. So that's why I reached out to you because I had a friend who had worked with you in the past and she had really good things to say and really loved your style and the way that you put your program together. You're in.
Thank you for sharing that. So before you started the program, you've tried doing things by yourself. Maybe I'm guessing you went online, you were looking for YouTube things, and there's a lot of information out there, and I know that that can be confusing. So I'm so glad that you joined. And then yeah, you were very successful from the get-go because you were very coachable. I would give you, homework, and then you would go ahead and do it. So I'm very proud of you. And then if you can share with us, what have you learned during the coaching program?
I've learned a lot. However, I think the most important thing is how important protein is for women. That's been really a game changer for me. The number two biggest thing is how alcohol affects weight loss. For a long time, I was trying to like fit the calories in, and like you said, looking at things online, or I'd even talked to a nutritionist um, through Kaiser, and kind of the information they gave me was only like part of it. It wasn't the whole full picture, like how I'm kind of getting with you. So trying to fit alcohol into your calorie count, but then you're sacrificing your nutrients. And then on top of that, if you're not getting enough protein, then you're not really set up for success. So those are the two big ones, I think. So once you can't unlearn things. So once you learn it, it's with you forever.
Yeah, that's for sure. And what were the biggest changes that happened for you during the coaching program? What was the biggest thing for you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say one of the biggest things was feeling like I have enough energy. I'm not feeling tired all the time. And I know it sounds like kind of like counterproductive, but exercising actually gives you more energy. So another thing I've noticed is like my mobility is better. Like I dropped something the other day and I bent over to pick it up and I'm like, oh, that wasn't as difficult as that was like a couple weeks ago. So just like little things like that. It's really exciting, and you feeling healthier. I had a family member tell me like, wow, you look really healthy. So that was super exciting, because for a long time I've just felt just so unhealthy and blah and tired, and just like you don't have like that like zest for life. So I feel like I'm getting that back. So that's game changer.
I love that. And we talked about that. It's not just like, oh, wow, you lost weight. I love that comment. The person actually said, you look healthy. Like that's the best comment that you can get. I love that. So if someone is on the fence about receiving coaching, what would you say to them?
I would say that they should definitely try it, because there is something to be said for having the accountability of having a coach. And like I kind of said earlier, it's really easy to make excuses when it comes to putting your health first. But for me, like I had to get to the point where I was just sick of it. I was just like sick and tired. I'm like, I have to make a change. So when I got to that point, that's why I think I'm just so motivated, because I know what it's like to feel bad and horrible and awful. And I want to feel better. I want to, I want to be able to go and do things with my family or go and do things with my friends. And be able to wake up in the morning and be excited for my day. And I know that a lot of women, we struggle with, dealing with everybody else's stuff and trying to make sure that the house is in order and the family's in order and the business and whatever. So I would say that the game changer is having the proper knowledge about how to, treat your body. And I don't know, I can't speak for, everybody, but I know for me, no one really taught, and in my family, we didn't really talk about nutrition. No one really ever taught me like this is how you need to eat to be healthy. And this is how you need to, exercise. Like my family, on my dad's side, my dad's an immigrant and my mom's parents were from Mexico. So it was kind of like, we just do what we can to get by. And, like when you're raising a family, sometimes you're doing the best you can with what you have. So I would say take the time to do it for yourself, and anything that you gain that knowledge, like you can share that with other people. So not only you're benefiting, but now like, the people around you are benefiting. I know people that are in my life that have noticed some changes, and I'm kind of even influencing them a little bit. So it's really nice, because you're doing something right when people are getting interested and they want to know more about it. So
yes, thank you for sharing. I actually was just thinking about two things. Actually, that's two additional questions that I have that I remember you told me one time, and I thought it was so good. So the first question, the first of these two, I know that, we talked about fitness and nutrition, but I really feel like you've gained a whole different mindset and outlook, not just on life, but about eating. What was like a big mindset shift for you that you had since you started the coaching program? I remember a couple of things you told me, but I would love for you to share what was maybe a couple of, or something you remember, a mindset shift that you've had that it clicked for you while we were working together.
So probably my number one was in regards to like being motivated to do something, or like being motivated to work out. For a long time, I'm like, well, I don't, I'm like searching for that motivation, and like, what can I do or say or tell myself or read or to get motivated to get started. But when we were discussing, it was like a light bulb went off, and you get the motivation after. So you just have to get in there and do it. And when it dawned on me, like that, for me, that was like so freeing to know, like, I don't have to be motivated to exercise. Like I can hate exercising the whole time I'm doing it. But most of the time, once I start, like halfway through or like partway through, you're like, oh, actually, this isn't so bad. And then what you had said regarding like, it's like a paycheck, like you work your hours and then you get paid at the end. That's how it is with motivation. So if I were to sit around and just wait to be motivated, like it's not going to happen. And sometimes it's like that for other things too in life. And the analogy too, like, it's just like, you have to be a grown up. You get up, you go to work, you pay your bills. Nobody likes to pay their bills, but we all do it because it's just, we have to do it. So this is just another one of those things now. It kind of like takes away some of the sting of like, oh, well, like, why am I not motivated? I should be looking forward and enjoying this, but that will come later. So you won't hate it forever.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. I love that you're saying those things because it is something that not most people struggle with. All of us, myself included. I also struggle with that, but we do it anyway. There is nothing that magically shows up. And then one more, that this is something that people seem to struggle a lot. And I'm like, I'm writing it, looking at my notes because I didn't want to forget. It's how do I fit my workouts in a packed, like a jam-packed schedule? Like how do you find time? Because you have two different businesses, right? You have the restaurant business of your family, and then you also have a real estate business. How do you figure out in such a like a busy, packed schedule? How do you find time to, get your workouts done and in your walks? How do you do that?
So the same way that I prioritize things in my business, I had to learn to prioritize it for myself. So now I schedule them in and they're on my calendar, just like any meeting or any showing or anything that I have to do goes in that calendar. So if I put it in there, then I know I'm committed to do it. Um, just the same way where I wouldn't tell a client like, oh, well, I just don't have time today. Sorry, well, I'll get back to you when I feel like it. Why would I do that to myself?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you get one body, you've, your muscles, your bones, your skin, and your brain, and we need to take care of all of them. And for a long time, because of where my mindset was, I was not doing that. So you have to just approach it differently. Now I look at it as like, this is an investment in myself, in my health. And if the same way I would look at it as a business investment, like I'm not going to turn that down. I'm going to make time for that. I need to make time for myself in the same way. What's important, So
I love it. That's good stuff. Love it, love it. Is there anything else that you wanted to share that I didn't ask you?
not that I can think of right now. Just that if you were going to go to a coach, if you're on the fence, you're the one to pick. Just I love your approach and your style to like this whole process. I love that you've made it approachable for people. It's not you're not going to sign up for something and get overwhelmed. It's very like the way you break it down into pieces, it's very doable. And I have worked out with personal trainers, or I have worked with like nutrition or fitness coaches before, but nothing's compared to this program. And the whole mindset, I really like how you do make an importance for like mindset and the way that we the way our mindset affects what we're doing.
Mhm.
So
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much.
you're